In 1969, a computer was a room-sized monolith of spinning tape and humming metal. These mainframes were highly advanced calculators, machines designed to crunch numbers and process data in strict isolation. But when media theorist Marshall McLuhan looked at this early landscape, he didn't focus on the hardware. He saw the scaffolding for a completely new stage of human evolution. While others saw the computer as just a mechanical tool, McLuhan realized it would become something much more intimate. He predicted that digital networks were destined to act as a literal extension of the human central nervous system. Previous technologies extended our physical bodies. A wheel extends the foot, a hammer extends the hand. But computing was going to envelop us, programming the entire global cognitive environment to respond to our social needs and sensory preferences. Half a century later, that prediction has materialized. Artificial intelligence now operates as an ambient, invisible layer of our daily lives. We inhabit this software as a total environment. McLuhan warned about a biological reflex that triggers when we extend ourselves this way. He called it auto-amputation. When we offload a piece of our cognition into a machine, our nervous system naturally numbs, powering down that part of our brain. Today, we quietly shape our language and thoughts to fit the machine's statistical expectations. If we interact with AI purely as a hands-off engine of convenience, the threat isn't that silicon violently replaces biological life. The threat is that the medium quietly processes the user, smoothing out the messy nuance of human thought until it matches a standardized average. But McLuhan didn't see this numbing effect as a reason to panic. Instead of a doomsday warning, he intended his theories to be used as a diagnostic map. He firmly believed that human potential can master the machine as long as we actively understand its dynamics. The antidote to mindless automation isn't to disconnect entirely. The antidote is intention. To maintain our agency, McLuhan argued we have to build what he termed counter-environments. These are intentional spaces constructed specifically to pull us out of the algorithmic stream, allowing us to clearly step back and see the invisible effects of our technology. When we apply this to modern software architecture, the goal shifts. Progress is no longer measured by how completely a system can automate a task, but by how well its design preserves and elevates human agency. Language models scan historical output to predict a statistical path forward, prioritizing the most probable next step based on existing data. But genuine breakthrough doesn't happen at the average. Innovation requires the improbable, messy, non-linear leaps of intuition that purely predictive models cannot replicate. The dynamic shifts when the human user treats the AI as a high-fidelity sounding board for their own synthesis. In this model, the human retains control of the underlying research, the philosophical direction, and the overarching creative intent. We can engineer systems that encourage this dynamic by designing for intentional friction. Instead of a seamless experience that completely bypasses human effort, these platforms invite active collaboration, prompting the user to question the generated averages and dig a little deeper. That friction prevents us from passively accepting a flat template. It forces the architecture to act like a high-resolution mirror, one that reflects and sharpens our unique personal signal rather than diluting it. The most effective digital tools emerge when human intuition actively steers algorithmic synthesis. This combination forces the output beyond the predictive average and into the realm of the improbable. This presents a clear mandate for the developers and creators mapping the next wave of information architecture. We have to consciously move away from total hands-off automation and step into the realm of high-dimensional augmentation. If we fail to build scaffolding that fits the native, fluid shape of human expression, the worker cannot truly build. When a framework is too rigid or relies heavily on standardized outputs, the human is forced to compromise their original vision just to fit inside the confines of the structure. The alternative is to design open, resonant scaffolding. We must engineer systems deliberately built to accommodate the complex, sprawling vectors of human intent. We do not have to passively adapt to the pace of automation or sink into a flattened cultural echo chamber. By insisting that human agency remains an irreplaceable component of the feedback loop, we keep control of the narrative. By explicitly designing technology to remain an extension of human capability, we prevent it from becoming a subversion of our consciousness. The future of this environment isn't about the machine running itself. It is about constructing the multidimensional spaces where human imagination actually has the room to build what comes next.